going strong. But about just scheduling conflicts, we were shooting that day. It was shot on a Wednesday, right?
What's that?
The People's Choice.
Yeah.
We were shooting that day, couldn't get off, but the next day, I got off and actually went down to do the TCAs and fly. So it's been a hectic year, but it's been a big push because we, as you guys know, we're in season 7, and that's when a lot of shows start to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
It's okay. I said no, but we don't want to say goodbye, so we're trying not to. Yeah, so we're doing a lot of extra press and stuff like that this year that we maybe would have not done before. And I'm playing nice because pretty soon I'm gonna probably need some time off. So. What do you want, Warner Brothers, to fly down at 9 a.m. and fly back at 9 p.m.? Sure. That way, when I'm crying when I'm driving the baby, with poop in his pants.
Well, they're loading you up right now.
Yeah.
They've been the past couple episodes that we filmed. We're on 17 right now. Have been a little bit more Sam centric. So
Didn't carbo loading Sam Winchester.
and I think that's in preparation for them getting more Dean centric around due date time, so that he can split off.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Do whatever he's gonna do. Yeah, so it's nice that the writers and the producers are looking after them like that, looking after vehicles like that. It's good. It's good to be part of
And I
it.
think they know that we can because I think they know that they can because they know that the young guys have our back no matter what, even if it's just going to be Jensen and a few of the episodes. Just kidding. No,
Take it easy. Take it easy.
No, I'll certainly be there. But anyways, that's boring scheduling stuff. What else, guys? Y'all have our undivided.
Yes.
With a hand.
Can I show you guys something?
Will my wife or mother be pissed?
We don't have any beads. I don't.
Is this like is that a Sebastian question or is that a?
What?
Please.
I have Nigerian pygmy goats.
Will you say that slower?
But when I got Mama and the 2 boys, what do y'all think of named the boys?
Jensen and Eklz. Nothing says pygmy goat like Jensen Eklz.
Nigerian pygmy goat.
Is it really? Yeah, Cliffy's right behind you. He's gonna steal that from you. Yeah. He's the one with the arms.
When I got them, they were like 4 months old, so they were so tiny. And so I put dog collars on them, and so I had Dean and green, and then Sammy had orange. Well, when they got bigger, they're about, I don't know, 400 pounds.
The what?
Walking around.
Pygmy goats.
They're 400 pounds.
Wait, Dean and Jared? I just call him Sam or something. Dean Winchester and Jared.
And the Dean one's bigger?
Congratulations on your pygmy goat.
Thank you.
What Nigerian pygmy goat? Are there a lot of Nigerian pygmy goat collectors here? Oh, I was like,
Raise your hand. Yeah.
We got them all over the place. They're under the table. Smell this chloroform. It's a bad joke, I heard. Does this rag smell like chloroform to you?
It's Jared's pickup line.
Yes, how are you?
Do you wish there was more hand-to-hand combat, like in skin?
Yes.
Dance versus...
Yes.
So the
Yes. We do big time.
What was I guess it was Skin, where Brothers fought Brothers, where we had that big over the pool table fight. Yeah, that was, and we had rehearsed that. Bragg came in on like a Saturday or something,
Yeah.
actually, and rehearsed all the movements and everything. That was,
Keep it going.
I wouldn't really like to do that, but I would definitely like to have more of that combat stuff. We don't do too much of that. Although we are getting back, we're doing some serious stunts in the episode we just did, and
This current one's
and the one we're doing right now. Our poor stunt doubles are earning their money.
Yeah, they're kicking it up.
Yeah, Dean goes flying into a few things in this, and Dean always gets the crap beat out of him. Which, yeah, and by women, it doesn't matter.
But Dean the pygmy goat messes with him.
Oddly enough, it's by a female again this time. Yeah, I get thrown into a bookcase, and then I get dropped onto a wooden table that splits, and then thrown through a set of French doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Todd, my stunt double, was having to do most of this, and you weren't behind
what I heard.
the table didn't break. So imagine, if you will, he was on a riser, much like these things that we're standing on, but at the level of the table. So he was at the same height as the table, and basically running off it, jumping up as high as he can, and landing in the center of this big, maybe 7 foot.
It's basically like doing it on the ground. It's basically like running.
And trying to split it with his back, and it was supposed to, it was scored, which, you know, so it was cut on the other side, so it was supposed to just fold in like that, and it did not. And so you just hear this, and Todd just kind of rolls off the table, he's like, and I was right there, I was like, oh, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? He's like, yep. And this is a guy who's been doubling me since Dark Angel. So over 10 years, this guy's been doubling me.
He's a tough cookie.
And I've never, ever once heard him say, I'm not okay.
We do hear the phone calls next day where he's like, yeah, I broke a few things, but...
Yeah, he's done like car hits and stuff, and he'll be like, no, I'm good. And then I'll hear, the next time he'll show up like a week later, I'm like, how you feeling after that hit? And he's like, oh, I broke 3 ribs. And I'm like, well, you got to go through this door today.
You said you're okay.
He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, your ribs aren't healed. He's like, yeah, I know. So the guy just has, his pain threshold must be way stronger than most of ours. But anyway, he did the table again, didn't break again. And again, got up and was like, and he's a few years older than me, so he's not like, you know, he's not popping up like he used to 10 years ago. Yeah, he's not 20 years old, but, and finally the third time, he was like, it's going down, I don't care. And he got twice the height of the jump and just wrecked the thing, and it was, so painful.
And then you had to go through the doors. Then you had to go
and then he had to get up and then do the stunt through the French doors, and I was like, how are you gonna do this? He's like, I'll tell you one thing, all of those doors are coming down with me right now. He was so upset about the table, but yeah, he's
But yeah, we're hoping to do
stud.
more like that. We're hoping to do more. I know I certainly miss kind of the hand-to-hand combat that we did. And it kind of toughed the guys up a little bit. It's kind of, the show's changed a little bit because we're no longer fighting things that can get
that you can fight hand-to-hand. It's
like the benders when you're fighting humans. You can fight them, you know. These other creatures, kind of difficult. Someone was yelling towards. Yes.
Do you like Cowboy Dean or 40s Dean better?
Cowboy Dean or 40s Dean?
Yeah. Elliot Ness Dean. Yeah, that was my favorite.
That was a pretty cool episode, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with all that. I thought Phil did a great job directing it and getting that whole look, and it was pretty cool. But you know, I like both of them a whole lot, but I'd probably end up having to go with the cowboy.
Did we still have the backlog?
Yeah.
Did we still have the backlog for the 40s episode?
We did, yeah, we used the backlog.
Have we told y'all about the backlog that we just lost?
No.
So we call it the backlog because it's a few blocks away from the stage. And those who have been to Vancouver and have been around our stages, it was originally the Watchmen stage. It was like the Watchmen town.
We watched the set. It was the new movie
Sound.
and then put down. So it's been up for 5 years now.
Yeah, and there was a huge windstorm, and I think Fringe was setting up their construction there because they were going to be shooting it the next day. And the windstorm blew down a huge facade, like as high as the roof, and almost killed a few people. So they shut the backlot down. So now we have to find a different place.
Well, they called in inspectors basically, and they deemed
Engineers.
they were like, this is not work safe. So they basically shut it down. But I think there's, am I not mistaken, there's a project coming in town, a movie coming in.
Yeah.
It's, you know, he's not here. I know he's not here. He got on the plane this morning, but it's very refreshing. You know, he's one of the family. So whenever you get the band,
We've missed him as much as y'all have.
yeah, whenever you get the band back together, it's always fun. Hopefully we get more of the. In fact, I was telling Bob that I was like, so season 8, Benedict, Spade, Mish, Beaver. And I'm like, do I need to continue? He's like, I got the picture. I'm like, hey, well, we're not the only ones who won.
Yeah, we'd like to see him back, so.
Well, we gotta get picked up.
Yeah, she's still on something.
Yeah, she's got stuff.
She's rad.
All right, the point of closing.
Okay. Morning, guys. Thank you. We'll see y'all guys again later.
Absolutely.